Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to FYI for your information. It is Thursday, 14th of April, 2022.
Believe
Guys,
it or not.
the
Believe it or
Easter
not.
season upon us. We're in the middle of it.
Happy
Oh
Easter.
my goodness.
Happy Easter.
Tomorrow is Good Friday, Sharon.
Yeah.
Guys.
It is already. Wow.
But the time has been going by so
yes, it was
quickly.
yesterday. Wow.
My goodness.
You're
Stuck in this twilight zone of
bun and cheese already.
you want to forget the struggles from January to now.
It's rough.
So,
rough out there. Yeah. Y'all have a little kite cheer in the way. Y'all let me know. A little kite. Please and thank you.
Guys,
Please and
it's so good to be with you here this morning. I see persons already in the comment section, as per always. We'll release those comments as we go along this morning.
Yes, we are. Aren't we going to release them?
I think we are going to release them. I see
Yeah.
Chevron, McDonald, Warren. Good morning to you, Warren. I see
Long
Gavin.
Island? Warren, Long Island. Forget?
Yeah. Family.
Yeah.
Warren.
Yeah.
Gavin, Liverpool is on.
Gavin, how are you doing?
Morning.
Good to see you, Gavin. Happy that you're here.
Dave Durrell, good morning to you, Dave. I see Kylo Tech. Good morning to you, Kylo Tech.
Kylo Tech is here. Wow.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
So nice.
I like that. I like Kylo Tech.
Slick kind of thing.
Yeah, I like it. It sounds good.
Very techie.
So June Chase is here this morning. Good morning to you, Vashti Magnot. Hey Vashti, how are you doing this morning?
Vashti, say hi to Rupert first, please.
Beatrice, good morning, Beatrice. What are you doing today? Are you on your way to work? What is going on? Lots going on there.
Beatrice, please say hi to Mr. Simmons.
Beatrice.
Beatrice, who's Mr. Simmons now? A colleague and I, whenever we don't know the name of somebody, Simmons.
Simmons.
If it's a woman, Miss Simmons. If it's a man, Mr. Simmons.
Okay, everybody Simmons.
What we don't know the name.
Okay.
So say hi to Mr. Simmons first.
Oh my goodness. Vashi said, "Well, do my brother."
Yes, thank you.
So you see, a requested God. Spice Man is here this morning. How's things in Guyana? Spice Man, things in Guyana.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Spice Man, say hi to Miss Simmons first.
Mistress.
Well, mistress, Miss.
I don't know
Miss Simmons. Say hi to Miss Simmons. You can't miss with Miss.
I see Raul. Welcome and saying good morning, my.
At least you put Spice Man
awesome
problems. You go home now. You hear them people say you have to marry me. Mr. Simmons. Miss Simmons.
Spice Man about his business right now.
Sharika, good to see you, Sharika.
I have to say, like from the very first day I saw Spice Man onto the comment, he has been present every day.
Yes.
So
he shows up.
To you.
Yeah.
He said, "Will do."
Yeah.
Will do.
Yeah.
I see Candy Nalini also in the comment section earlier this morning.
Skeldon. Hi, Skeldon. Candy, say hi to the folks here for us.
Sharon Alfonso Evans is joining us from Trinidad this morning.
Trinidad. TNT in the house. How's it there? How's it going there?
Tessa Isaac Grace Zandy. Hey Tessa. She sent hi to you both from Orlando, Florida.
Oh wow, Orlando,
Tessa's
Florida.
Here
I've never been to Miami. I've been to Florida. Yeah.
You passed through.
Passed through Miami, the airport.
Technically, you touched down.
It's true. I touched down. I just didn't see much of it. Touched down.
That's as much as it
Miami airport. When I was flying through there the last time, and was in transit. I watched the door. I say, "No, Duncan, when you come back to this place?" So,
okay. Are you referring to Guyana?
This place. Come back to this place. So. With these jacobats, trench capos. Make it.
Yeah, you have a purpose here. God put you here for a reason. Don't worry, guys. I see Marlon Thomas. Marlon Thomas.
I don't want to be reminded.
Marlon, how are you doing this morning? Please talk.
Marlon, please tell me how are you doing.
Some things to share this morning.
But Jurita has an H in it. It's who? It went by.
Someone what are
Raymond, how are you doing, Raymond?
The comment that you looked at Jurita just now is like, what are they trying to do with your tongue?
That's the question. I just saw Raymond Lorraine saying hello, that he's watching, and he speaks very highly of you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Thank you, Raymond.
And Raymond, FYI, Elizabeth is on her way. FYI.
Who's on her way?
Elizabeth, his wife.
Okay.
Yeah, she's on her way home.
Okay.
FYI, see, we know things here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why the program for your information. FYI, Elizabeth is on her way. FYI, we know a couple of things here. We just got drones up, getting information.
That's quite a segue.
Now I see there are cameras. I see a couple of cameras in the East Bank. A guy has a private entity. He says he's helping government monitor traffic and that kind of stuff. So there's always a live feed. There's also a live feed. You can just click into their Facebook page and there's a live feed running by the bridge and so on. You can. I think it's a good way to monitor too. You might want to say, "Oh, traffic heavy there. Let me stay in town a little bit until it eats up." And that kind of stuff.
Is it live online or anything?
Yes, it's live
so
online.
You can get it at any point in time. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Live online. Pixel something.
Good.
Name
of the kudos to them. Like I said it, technology.
Tech is the way to go.
That's the way to go. Guys.
And we've got drones up, FYI, looking and we know things. So we got drones up.
I want you to go back to Warren's comment there. I think Warren just said something.
What Warren says?
I think you just passed it. You went too far up.
Too far down now.
Yes, Warren said, heard the Parliament Bishop. I'm not seeing the rest of the comment. Right there at the bottom. I'm not seeing it. Heard Parliament Bishop. Okay, said whether you are in the ring or out of the ring. So Sharon was absent yesterday from Parliament, right?
He won't come in the ring,
But Bishop, Sharon on Bishop's mind.
He won't come in the ring, He won't come in the ring. But we can make an exception.
Shout out Bishop's mind, guys. You can't.
Yeah.
They suspended you and they still got you on the mind. My goodness.
It's the Lord's doing, and it's marvelous in our eyes.
I want to release the rest of the comments.
Release the comments.
So Clifton said it's Holy Thursday. What information do you have for us?
Walk good. Stay on the right side.
Lovely blue. Thank you, Clifton.
Walk on the straight and narrow, Clifton. Walk on the straight and narrow.
I'm seeing misdirections right about now on my monitor. My monitor has seen some misdirection. When it comes to
Holy Thursday. Lord, snatch the wheel.
Release the comments.
Snatch the whole vehicle. Snatch the whole vehicle today. Snatch the whole. I like the DJ. Right? Run the track. Run the track, Mr. DJ.
I see Spiceman says special congratulations to Mr. Aubrey Norton as appointment. It's not an appointment, it's actually his election of leader of the opposition.
The leader of the opposition is elected from among the
opposition members.
The opposition members of parliament. So it's an election.
Well, Lennox Schumann attended that meeting.
But he said he was going to vote.
He just attended for attendance sake to mark his name present.
How do I roll my eyes?
Upon, he did not respond.
How do I roll my eyes? Rolling my eyes.
Happy Holy Thursday to you too. I see so many persons in the comment section who say Happy Holy Thursday.
Judy made a good cup of tea after a long time.
That's not true. I have been
the morning before
my only question of a cup of tea came once. How do you all capitalize on this one time?
We're different, this guy. We got a little extra. It's exaggerated. We're good to see Shalon Joseph, Lysis Bingo Boy. Fitzherbert Cherrick is watching. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying that retirement. Today we got drones up. We know a couple things.
My goodness.
Hope you're enjoying that retirement.
Folks,
Fitzherbert Cherrick.
Share it in your business.
FYI, that's the name of the program. Everybody business. For information.
Apparently, I need to get up with my game.
For information.
I don't know about these things.
That's what we do. We mind your business. That's the hashtag for the program.
Peace.
Chising is here? Yep. Basil wants to know where's the manzo. I can tell you how. I don't really want to. I can say the book. Shout out a late night last. That's all I can say. I had a late night.
Scandalous.
Scandalous.
You can't.
A man is away there.
Be scandalous on Holy Thursday.
I mean scandalous?
Yes.
You ask me, trying to kill the man the truth. You tell the truth, shall set you free. Yep.
Guys,
Susan Washington, good to see you.
Yeah, I'm thinking persons are happy with it. I'm thinking about what the fact that if myself or you, if you were thinking about doing cross buns, I'm going to tell you about now.
I didn't realize tomorrow was Good Friday, so
I'll be looking for some cross buns. I have to go hunting.
Once you get money in your pocket, you can buy cross buns.
No, but I think it's the whole tradition of it all together is for you to bake your cross buns. So you don't
sell a good cross buns quality. No, I'm sorry.
You don't make cross buns.
I tend to break a lot of rules.
You break rules. Sharon breaks rules.
I buy my cross buns. Yep, the prices already been paid.
Oh my goodness, the price has been paid.
The price has been paid. Cross buns and root.
Here I was hoping that I can bring up this conversation, Sharon, and say, I'm gonna drop some by you tomorrow, but no, Sharon says no.
It can still happen.
He's not.
If you behave yourself and make a good cup of tea. Good to see Matthew Dennison and Shalon Joseph, Destiny Phillips. Destiny, I see you for a little while. Whatever money you owe, we forgive you. Right? It's Holy Thursday. We forgive you. Everybody. So come around more often. Susan, Washington, And we see that comment there, Suzette. One love to you as well. I see Alana Tang is watching us from Matthews.
I like that surname, Tang. That's
Tang, watching us from Matthews. You know, back in the days, there was a costume designer when MASH was MASH. Peter Tang was his name. Fantastic.
How do you remember these things? Sometimes I question my
we beg, but we got sense. We beg.
I do not remember people's
We beg, but we got sense. Yep.
I think any grade that was deducted for social studies, if they asked me to name who did this and name who did that. No, sorry, I can't remember.
Candy says she's baking her own cross buns. Well, I think that's for you, Drita.
I can't.
She baking show cross buns.
Some over.
Baking show cross buns. Peter Tang back in the day was a fantastic costume designer for MASH. Used to make what is it called? It's costumes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, costumes and the floats and that kind of stuff. Fantastic guy.
Oh wow.
Fantastic guy.
We used to, we did it ourselves. I remember through the school system, the teachers and the students used to be actively engaged in making those things as well.
One of the best in the world.
But bigger schools is just pay professionals to do it, cheat the system, you know, cheat
working smarter, not harder.
Cheat the system.
Yeah, working smarter, not harder.
When the other schools with less resources have to go out and make it themselves.
Yeah.
You know.
Jeanette Wong is here. Jeanette Wong, watching from Port Kaituma.
Oh,
Matthews Ridge is in the house. Port Kaituma is in the house.
Yeah.
Right?
So I have.
Siobhan says she owes me pay. Wait, what pay?
You know, so I got a message for you. I'm going to deliver this message as I'm here because you're just talking about Port Kaituma. And I remember yesterday I got a message for you from someone in Region 9 that says that they love the FYI program, continue to do it and let them know how they can assist, and they're going to do everything to spread the word.
Oh, very nice, very nice. So let them, Port Kaituma, Matthews Ridge in the house. So glad. Again, you said technology, you know, internet services improve, you know, we get a better reach. So it's a national, international program. Thanks for showing up, guys.
Thank you so much.
Respect and manners to each and every one of you. Ricardo Charles is here. He says, I love here, Judy saying, right about now. I think we're changing the complexion of the show now. John Doe, hope you got your gun out. I can hold you shut. I can hold you shut.
I hear you.
First of all, moving on, folks. Moving on quickly. Siobhan, we see you there, Siobhan. Orindon Cook. Rohan, is it Basantram?
Yes.
Rohan Basantram. Good to see you, Rohan. And Edward Gonzalez, all from the Bronx. I see Beatrice Selby says, kudos to Region 9. Yep, indeed. Kudos to Region 9. All the folks joining us. Marilyn Thomas said, I can't major. Once you know that, right? I used to buy my things. I got my little age.
No, this is a little shady.
We big, but we got sense.
Did you get free university education too?
Let me see. I actually did. Because my first year at UG, I was student president and I got my first year free.
Oh wow.
As part of my package.
I'm sorry.
Student president.
I'm sorry. For some reason I didn't know the student president was getting there.
Yeah, you get whichever year you're serving, you get a year away. You see, she's wondering why didn't I run?
Why was I being this king maker?
I got the first year.
Why was I?
I'm not being king yourself. Yeah, you get the first. You get whichever year you're in. You get a year.
I got to call. I have to call.
You see why a lot of people run?
Somebody.
You see why a lot of people run in Twitter. You understand though? So
I know a particular
you're
individual that I was practically president for all the years.
Yes.
So that was no tuition.
You hold degree free. 4 or 5 years, 6. Good to see Erwin, Don, Cook, and Alexis Kelman. All of you fantastic guys who are joining us. Again, you know, we'd rather be, you know, with no other bunch of folks than you lovely people. Yeah, the FYI family continues to grow and we are getting so connected. I think every morning I get up and I look forward to actually being here. You know, sometimes I think like when we have like holidays tomorrow, oh my goodness, it's going to be so strange. It's so strange to not that I wouldn't be here tomorrow morning. That's just crazy. And we won't be here Monday too because it's a holiday. We're going to take our rest. And when we say rest, we ain't resting really. We're still working at the back end, but not just live. So you guys are going to see us back after today on Tuesday. Believe it or not, we're going to miss you guys. But I should be here. Tremendously. I'll miss them. We'll be on the podcast on Saturday and Sunday. So all you folks there, I'm going to miss you. But I know that all of you just deserve to have a little bit of time for your family and all of those things. Like family is super important to me. Anybody that knows me knows that family is super, super important to me.
So
Yeah.
I would. This is the only time I
Same
have
here.
issues, you know.
Same here. Super important for me to get rid of them. Super important for me to get rid of them.
Oh my goodness, shirt is
Super
not
important.
nice. Shirt
Family.
is not nice.
Family's bricky business.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. Family.
Shirt.
To family.
To family. Look. To family.
Desiree and Bacchus, we see you. Mingo and Mark Allman. Bernadette Parks. Glycis, Mingo Bird, and Nandi, Melissa Lewis, all you fantastic folks.
Kylotech different, you know. People usually smash the emoji, the heart. Kylotech, send the heart in the comments. Kylotech, you're different out there this morning.
What's in the morning papers,
We love it.
What's in the morning paper?
Yeah. So as we go into the morning paper, it said, minor Roy Henry dies in fight over woman. Oh my goodness.
I tell you, I'll stop fighting over women. I don't know.
No, but I want to say, because this is something that guys, again, I always have to come back. Bartica is a gateway to the interior of my home. So like a lot of situations in which we know in the past years and so forth has been continuing when it comes to these acts, you know, minors in the interior, this whole fight over women and all of those things is ridiculous. But
so you're saying it's only in the interior men fight over women?
No, but I'm saying up there, because
you said Georgia men don't care?
No. They said a minor, right? So I'm referring to the fact that it's a minor. That is not. This is not an isolated thing. It has been happening for quite some time. But so we need to take a look at it. A lot of times, the person's mental health, they go away from their families, and they're in there for such a long time. Women are scarce commodities when you go into the interior. That's a different conversation. However,
I don't want to pretend angels here.
Right. That's how the whole system is. It's crazy because, and then you have.
So you say because women in Nigeria is a scarce commodity.
Yes.
They were fighting over
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this situation, but I'm saying a lot of situations generally that happens because there's so few women as compared to men. The interior persons working there, it's a man's domain. It's dominated by men. Let me just put it over like that, right? It's dominated by men, and naturally because of the type of work, the gravity of the work, and so forth that is there. I personally don't encourage no woman to go there.
I'm seeing my English 125 class. Gorsami Smith, Valerie Gorsami Smith. The syllogism there is that on the coast they got plenty of women, so men don't have to fight over.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I've seen the syllogism. Settle up there.
No, but I'm saying that that a lot of times it ends in extreme violence.
Yeah. I'm gonna curb that. The general violence. Right. Yeah. I just want people to know that this coast guy here, I am the man who will fight for your honor.
I wanna listen. Guys out there, I'm speaking as a woman. No woman should put no man in a position that he has to fight for her. Yes, you defend your woman's honor and all of those things if someone is trying to disrespect her. But in no time you are supposed to put as a woman, should you be putting your man in a position that he has to be fighting back and forth
physically
for you. Yeah. No way, not just physically, but he should not have to be they're fighting and these whole battles, like to what end? We're adults, so adults are supposed to be in relationships first of all and not children. You're in a relationship and you make decisions. And I think that one of the things that is lacking a lot in a lot of relationships is respect. We have to respect each other tremendously, you know.
Check out Naomi's comment.
What is that? I didn't see it.
Naomi says, pull up, Sharon. Yeah. Charlene Juice then she says, is it singing for me? You know, this politics thing can work out. We have a fall back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You know, this fighting thing is very interesting because right now, a couple of weeks ago, we learned same fighting of a woman.
Yeah.
Right now, another man paying $6 million for defamation, fighting of a woman. 6 million defamation.
Listen,
I want your commentary.
You're putting me in this.
Come. Fight it over him. But you know,
that's a little wicked, you know.
Women say the other thing. Women say, I think it's within the fighting metaphor.
Yeah.
That men stop chasing. Yeah. Right. Pursuing, chasing. Yes. You stop, which is the same thing. You stop not necessarily fighting somebody else, right? But you stop going after,
pursuing.
Same thing, chasing,
But
pursuing.
women, a lot of women have become into the role that they do the pursuing. You know, so
I like them.
if you are pursuing,
You want equal opportunity.
There's no who y'all.
Women in general now want.
I am a woman.
Equal opportunity.
Don't speak for me.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Don't speak for me. Listen. I mean, this is a very contentious matter, guys. But when it comes to me, when it comes to me personally, I can tell you that I have no issue. I have no.
You like all the traditional feminine roles.
I do like those things, but when it comes to equality, and this is where I differ basically from a lot of people. I don't go out there saying, "Oh, we want equal rights to this and equal rights to that." Yes, persons have to be treated equally. Equal rights, equal respect, equal pay. Those are some very important concepts. If women have to go out there and do the same things that men are doing, but at the same time, I valued family structures. I believe that it's absolutely important for us to maintain family structure. For example, I'm a member of parliament. I go out there, I work. Since I've known myself out of school, I've been working all the time. I don't have an issue. At no point in time do I conceptualize in my head that, because I do X, Y, Z, that I could be competing for the head of the household. No, the man in my life is the head of the household, and that's how it is, because that's the structure that I value. I don't want to be, it's not a contentious issue. And I have no issue with being a woman, a strong woman, and still being submissive to my spouse and all of those things. I think those things are important aspects of life altogether and structures, and that's just how I am. Excellent. Respect have to be given both ways. I think that's the downfall, and that's where things go haywire. When you respect each other, you have no issues. Trust me.
It being Holy Thursday, I want the real truth, you know. two interesting comments I want to draw your attention to. Marlon Thomas says, Jurita, what when women have to fight over their man?
It ain't happening. If I got to fight for you, I will not have you.
All right.
You will go peacefully.
That comment.
I would listen.
That comment, I think, solicited Naomi Drucker's comment there. I hope John don't listen.
No. We're talking general relationship. Yeah. I personally, if I have to fight for you, you and I will not be in a relationship, because if I decide that I wake one morning and I realize that this is a competition, I would remove myself totally out of that situation. I will just pretend I would go on with my life as it never happened. Like you were never a part of it.
I could hear John Doe saying, "Bad man don't fight for no."
No, but
okay, in my best John Doe voice.
Serious.
Bad man don't fight.
Oh, he doesn't sound like that. But
tell us.
But a very sad story. I mean, this whole discussion, we can make it very light on what goes on generally in how we see things and all that. But crime altogether,
but not to the extent that you're gonna because you can get some presumptuous fellas too. You gotta say, hey, breaks up.
Yeah. We have to realize that there are abusive men.
Some presumptuous fellas.
They are abusive men. They are abusive women too, but men are the larger scale. Let's be honest. That's what the statistics show when it comes to relationships. And a lot of times women try to break away from relationships with men, and so they just don't let go.
No,
right?
But in addition to that, they got some presumptuous fellow would know that this woman is spoken for, as in your case with John Doe, totally spoken for, on the way to the altar spoken for.
Wow. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware. Share no things.
I think we got to join this up. We got to join this up. Right? And some guy would still, even to the dismay of the woman, still come chasing. And you gotta say, hey, burn it down.
You don't have to say anything. Listen.
So John Doe would have to say anything, is you telling me?
No. I'm talking about the woman. The woman doesn't have to say anything. Well, that's how I treat it. I just say, I may be wrong, open to criticism on these points. However, I'll give an example. I have social media. If you are to check my social media chat, for example, I have hundreds of unopened messages. Why? Because sometimes you just look at the little caption there. You can preview the message and you see, hey, good morning, baby, sweetheart. Every single day. Some people consistently message you every single day, but not with any real conversation. Once you come with the good morning, baby, I'm not even opening the message because you don't want to engage me at any professional level, and I'm not going to open it.
Two takeaways here. Treating is in high demand, number one.
Why is that's your
hundreds of open message, high demand, and the preview. And just know, if you want the person who haven't had your message open by Twitter, she has said, looking at the preview.
Yeah, but it's true because
high demand.
You know, let me tell you. Once, if you want me to like open a message, if somebody say like "Good morning, Miss Fernandez" or something like that, immediately you know that someone's coming with a difference, or just a good morning. But once you come with a "Good morning, baby," or "You look sweet," this whatever, I'm not even opening your message because I'm not even going to engage that train of conversation.
You disagree with me. Say you really know the real me. You look sweet and say.
Yeah, disagree highly.
Moving on, folks. Moving on in morning papers. Moving on. The other issue that we have percolating in the morning papers. Guyanese Ralph Tamish was re-elected as president of the Indo-Caribbean Federation. Did you know that?
I didn't know this. Yeah. But Ralph Tamel, as it says, has been re-elected as the president of the Indo-Caribbean Federation of America when the organization held this biannual executive election. And this was done at in Richmond Hill, Queens, New York, last Sunday.
Close to some of y'all.
Yeah. So, but these are actually good things for us to note, to be proud of. Guyana. Believe me, once your country is being discussed throughout the length and breadth of the world, as it's being done right now, because of the oil resource that is here, the sudden interest a lot of persons have in the country, Guyanese, they're going to be having better opportunities. Oh, you're from Guyana. Oh, that place that has oil, let's just get those. So persons that have been working exceedingly hard to be in certain positions may be given a little bit of push right now because of the elevation of the country's name altogether and the expected prospects that we all as a country wait to see.
Yep. Indeed. So kudos to the guys there at the Indo. What is it again? Let me make sure I get the name right. The one to Indo-Caribbean Federation. They're in Queens, New York, and we're all doing some reasonably good work.
Oh my goodness.
Reasonably good work. That being said, the other headline we see percolating in the morning papers, that the World Bank continues to report that there's a shortage of experts hindering Guyana's capacity to monitor, audit, and regulate companies. Right.
I have a different perspective on that, because when you...
So you think we have enough experts?
No, I have a little different perspective when it comes to these reports, because I believe that we have been discussing repeatedly, we have exhausted some points in trying to get it over, that the experts are being removed. And in a lot of situations, we have political appointees being put in places that they have no business being, where experts are needed. And two key points we keep making is when it comes to the Dr. Vincent Adams that was removed from the EPA expert. And he's not just an expert here, he was the expert in the US as well. You have such a renowned expert.
Dr. Rudy Jarapachu from
that was the second one that I was coming from also, right? So when I see these, shortage of experts hindering Guyana's capacity to monitor, audit, and regulate oil companies, I'm thinking to myself, is the experts are being removed, right? You can't say that you don't have them, because any report, rightly so, as the World Bank report is saying, that is being conducted, and you go and you actually examine who these persons are that's heading these agencies, you say, oh, well, these people don't have experts. But the truth is, they have removed the experts where they have it. And I do agree to some extent, of course, that we have extensive work to be done when it comes to training personnel locally, so that we will be better equipped and geared with the technical knowledge and expertise in how to manage these things. But also, we need to stop ceasing this immediately and bring back the experts that was removed also.
Outside of the politics, I'd love to see a mapping of the oil and gas sector, who are needed, and so more young people can streamline their vocation into one of those fields, and hopefully with enough time you become an expert.
Yes.
Right. So find a way in the value chain.
The experts are not robots. There are people like me and you that they got an opportunity, however, and they were afforded the privilege, or they fought for it, to go out and study so that they will know what is going on, the technical know-hows of the industry. And that's what the expert is,
That's what the expert is.
It's not a robot. You give Guyanese the same opportunities, you train them and expose them, they will be the experts as well.
Kirk is right. Correct is right. Could we move on to the trend now?
Yes.
Might we?
Go ahead, sir.
Folks, picking up on a bit of international news. We talked about what happened in the subway there in Brooklyn.
Yes.
And the guys seem to have apprehended that suspect that they were looking for. And they're telling us that they've apprehended Frank James, who is 62 in New York, in this New York subway shooting incident, without incident, over the last 72 hours. He's 62, Frank James, and as you know, a lot of confusion, a lot of pandemonium where that is concerned quite recently.
Well, what is interesting about this is that the level of preparedness that he went with to do what he did, because he had on a construction worker's helmet, a vest, and a gas mask before he began throwing them smoke grenades and opening fire. See, he go there to harm people while at the same time making sure that he himself was protected to some extent also.
Yeah.
He had gas mask, a vest, construction worker's helmet, but he is there with smoke grenades and opening fire to harm persons.
I'm still encouraged by the efficiency of law enforcement there. Such a huge city, and to be able to narrow in and apprehend Mr. James in very, very short order. You had a gentleman who right here went and shoot up right next door to the president's house. They're still looking for him. Right?
Oh,
Palm Court. That Palm Court incident where the associate of Shahid Roger Khan was killed on Main Street, just a stone throw literally a stone throw from State House. They're still looking for him. Still looking for the person or persons who committed that dastardly act. So I'm very impressed with the efficiency.
Well, that's a good note, because as being reported by BBC also, they said the police did not answer questions about the individual who called in the tip, because they said they acted on a tip and located him in Manhattan yesterday. But they're saying that they're not answering questions about the individual calling the tip. They said though the Associated Press and CNN are reporting the suspect was the one who tipped off the police to his location in Lower Manhattan. The CNN probably have some different bits of information there, because CNN is actually reporting that it was the suspect that tipped off the police of his own location in Lower Manhattan there.
CNN got the drones up too.
CNN
got the drones up.
Different, CNN that's a different level of news.
Very much so. And coming closer to home in the Caribbean, we picked this up. We thought it might be useful to you guys. Marshall Montano, his mother wrote a book about him recently as he was celebrating, I think his, let me get it right, his 40th anniversary in music. And the report tells us that as Marshall Montano celebrates his 40th anniversary in music, the first book chronicling his rise from boy who was too young for soca, you remember that song?
Yeah.
To the King of Soca is about to be released. King of Soca is the title of this book for those of you who love to read like us. And it was published by none other than his mother, Elizabeth Lady Montano, the ultimate insider. And from her extraordinary vantage point, they tell us the ultimate insider lady details the characteristics and stories of various eras in Marshall's artistry. She shares the highs and lows of her son's journey against the backdrop of the soca legend ever-evolving interior world, which has shaped his outer expression. And he's very religious these days, but again, the Soca King is to be released soon, and it was written by Marshall Montano's mother. Yep. Well, they say I'm too young for soca.
Yeah, sure. Shirt is different,
It's politics and workout. Yeah, see, I got another career lineup on here. Let's see, too young.
Oh my goodness! But kudos to her, and I think that's something that I may very well pick up and see what's inside.
And you know what? You can tell that she's a very active part of his life. As a good parent, most mothers are a very active part of his life, and that kind of upbringing often leads to success. Not only being a megastar and all of that, but involved parenting.
Yeah. Well, kudos to her for raising Marshall Montana. He's one of my favorites. I can say that because I am very picky with music altogether. I'm picky with everything.
Yeah. People tell me all the time, I too young for soca. I can tell you. Yeah, making joke.
So, but I like his music.
Yeah.
Very hyped and lovely.
Yep. A bit of interesting news as well, folks. A bit of interesting news. Take a look at this. Picking up that in Anguilla, we had a consultation recently, guys. We had a consultation here, and we were talking about hairstyles in school. But while we're doing that, people have gone on. The rest of the world have gone on. Right? We move at a very pedestrian pace, and we got to pick up the pace. A little bit, pick up the pace.
Yep.
So dreadlocks, wigs, and braids have been approved for use in Anguilla schools. Right? I'll give you another shocking tidbit. Who's sharing the damn live stream? Who can smash the emoji button for me? Huh? They say I'm too young for soca. Dun, 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 dun. I wanted to go dreadlocks. The time I'm too late. I might try that for the new year. Right? So in Anguilla, Drida, they have crossed this hurdle. While we're still holding consultations, right?
I think I know why. But you continue.
While we're holding consultations and being political about it and trying to get photo ops and score political points and so on, them people gone ahead, Drita. Right? And this in large measure,
I think I know why, but I'm going to allow Sherry to go ahead.
This in large measure is due to the fact that you have the education minister there in Anguilla, who was very frontal in terms of pursuing this issue and ensuring that, we break away from this whole colonial thing that we had. You got to come a certain way. So we're cultural people, right? We're a little extra, right? And people should allow to express themselves in that sense. The education minister in Anguilla is 27.
That is what it is. That is the difference.
Right? It's a different paradigm, I want you to know.
That is the difference. That is the difference.
Them fossils, we got to deal with it. Like Gail. When I was 13, Gail went to the National Assembly. 13 years old. I go to the National Assembly, I got to fight Gail. Right?
What year did Gail go to National Assembly?
94.
94?
1994. Not 2004. 1994. I was 13 years old. Right? And since then, Gail was a big woman.
Oh my goodness.
Right? I used to look up to her. Now looking down. I said, Gail, what's happening?
I'm still in Pampers running around. Gail and National Assembly. And now me and Gail at the same.
What's the kind of treat I try to imply? I said, you're late.
I said I was.
Oh, you.
And Gail started National Assembly. I don't know.
We got to put our researchers on this. We want accurate information here for your information. We want credible and valid.
That's actually something to look at. I have to ask my mother.
Right? But since then, I used to look up to Gail. I said, this big woman here, she looked like somebody.
And she used to fool me too,
She's still a big woman. I don't know. But that being said, the education minister in Anguilla is 27 years old. And she's doing some fantastic work. I want to meet this young lady.
But you can see why. You can see why this is something that would happen, that she wouldn't see a challenge in actually having that hair policy completely revamped altogether there, because she understands the mechanisms of the current world we're living in. It's a lot of times I have to say, a lot of times persons have been stuck in an era and they have not been moving forward the way which they think.
Gail stuck. That's what Gail brought a motion recently, about the PAC, not meeting if they're stuck in an era of darkness and so on. They don't want transparency. But that's what I'm saying. The point I'm making, the world has moved on. Folks, we got to pick up the pace. Let's just get on with it, as the British say. Right? Throw away everything else. Let me keep that from the bitches. Get on with it.
Yes.
Right? Let's get on with it. And I'm going to one up you, because here's the philosophy behind what is happening in Anguilla. I think we have that. Here's the philosophy. Tell us your
locks, braids, afros, wave cuts, bantu knots. Here is a frequently discussed, hotly debated, and deeply personal issue for men and women of all ages. That is why in 2020, the Ministry of Education encouraged students to celebrate their natural hair with World Afro Day. As a predominantly Black country, the Ministry of Education understands that the acceptance of our racial and cultural uniqueness means stepping away from ingrained colonial perspectives about the appropriateness of Black hair in schools and professional settings. We want our students to express themselves with respect and to treat others with respect. So the Ministry of Education has undergone an evaluative process to look at the hair policy in the school system. This change in policy will allow students to wear their afros, locks, braids, and other protective hairstyles associated with their racial and cultural identity. One of the most important changes to note is that locks will be generally accepted for both boys and girls. There will no longer be a process of applying to the Department of Education to state that they're being worn for religious reasons. This policy in its entirety will be made available on the Ministry of Social Development and Education Facebook page and the Government of Anguilla Facebook page.
I want to save this video and send it to some people.
That's the that's the Minister of Education in Anguilla, 27 years old.
27
she's
years.
An attorney at law. She's a former beauty queen. She's an athlete as well. Fantastic young woman.
Yep.
Fantastic young woman.
And she knows that the way in which you wear your hair doesn't impact the level of education that you receive, that is given to you, not that you can consume and digest. The way in which you wear your hair literally has no impact.
Part of the report says that Afro-Anguillan students will no longer be penalized for their school by their schools for wearing natural protective hairstyles like dreadlocks, braids, and cornrows, as the Ministry of Education has updated the Albina Lake Hodge Comprehensive Schools National Code of Discipline and Dress. The Minister of Education, again, she is Dinan Kentish Rogers, and she announced the developments on Facebook just yesterday, 27th.
You know what? Kudos to her. Kudos to her. The system there altogether very progressive. I have to say that's very progressive, and I give a lot of credit to that. You know, I want to encourage our own policymakers right here, and especially when it comes to the administration at the level of the school, the things that I like to tell people that a lot of times our issue is we make major issues out of minor things, you know, and the things that we should be making major issues out, we just leave it as minor issues. Nevertheless, things like paper in your book. I mean, you may feel differently.
She's all 2 years in politics.
2 years in politics, my goodness. 2 years in politics, Minister of Education. 2 years in politics.
You got to be able to deliver the goods.
Exactly.
And she's delivering the goods. Right? We have a culture where you feel like, get in line. No longer in the struggle here. No longer in the struggle out here, Moses. No longer. 2 years in politics.
No pun intended with. Yes.
You moved on, folks.
Exactly.
Coming closer to home on the trend, guys. Closer to home. Well, we saw this, started all interested. GCOM.
Oh my goodness.
It's in the news, and we see that Melanie Marshall has been appointed a voter registration manager. And we hope this moves us closer to a local government election, which is almost 2 years delayed. Justice too long delayed. The great civil rights leader says, justice denied. Melanie Marshall, congrats to her. I'm certain she is eminently qualified. But we want to pick up the pace, GCOM. Pick up the pace, please. Pick up the pace. Pick up the pace. This one for the other thing, pedestrian. We got to pick up the pace.
A lot of work to be done by GCOM, and I know that a lot of reports are being written, and results of those reports coming out. A lot of studies have been happening, and I think that we ourselves will be dissecting some of those reports that have emanated from studies done locally when it comes to how it affects GCOM and elections in Guyana altogether.
Part of the challenge we have is that where reports are concerned, when we read part of the report, right, the CARICOM scrutinizing team presented a report of out of the last general and regional elections, and they said the GCOM, the way it's constituted with politics playing such a heavy role is madness. But we're looking at that part. We're looking at the reasonably credible election part. Right? And say, oh yes, these elections were fair and open and transparent because we ain't looking at the other part that says the whole of GCOM need to be thrown away and start fresh.
The major issue.
Right?
Yep.
So, but we're happy for Melanie. Happy for Melanie.
Yeah, most definitely.
Serve well, Melanie. Serve well all the persons who are appointed and will be appointed. But let me pick up the pace a little bit. Let us pick up the pace a little bit. And that being said, folks, another thing we're seeing on the trend, oh yes, things tight. I want you all to know that. Things are tight out there and people doing strange things.
Oh my goodness.
Right? And then when you're chased with the administration, it's madness. A man tried to eat a whole cow recently.
What nonsense.
Beef price got up. Charlie, you got bail for stealing the cow. Y'all know Charlie's there by y'all. Right? Whole cow, Charlie tried to fetch away.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Things like this country different, you know. There's no place on earth like this 83,000 squares. Right? No place on earth like it. Whole cow, Charlie tried to fetch away. Charlie say, I see the price of beef.
I have one bias. Why? I mean, you're talking about the
whole cow.
When you speak about cows here, Sharon, we don't talk about cows like that.
Right.
We different.
Charlie took a saying personally. You know, he said, "Why buy beef by the pound and you get the whole cow for free?" Charlie fetching the people whole cow
for free,
right? But we forgive you on this Holy Thursday, Charlie. Right? You got to pay the price, but you got go and send no more after. Go thief. No more cows. Thief the whole cow.
I think there's more to that story. I'm not gonna be.
Now, when you go by people's house, Rita, and after you little fool, you know Stephen cow.
Give me that I eat beef.
Because you seen the tag coming on the plate, right? The tag don't show up on the plate. You know Stephen cow when you go by Charlie.
That's why I don't go by nobody.
You know, Stephen cow. Stephen cow. But look what we boys telling we out here, right? I tell you, we got to pick up the pace. Oh, Father. Everything them boys running with currently. You know them boys. Everything was gift wrapped for them by Apnu FC. Right? Were projects in the pipeline. I see Afron going and open a road, the access road there to the East Bank from Mandela Avenue. That was in the pipeline.
Gotcha.
You haven't built in 2 years. That was already in the pipeline. The works were already in the pipeline. That being said, Constitutional Reform Committee ready to proceed with work. They have been delayed for months. You know why? Because there was nothing in the pipeline, wasn't it? Nigel Hughes did a lot of work in this area prior to, but they have delayed this intentionally. They're saying April 19th, Twitter, they're going to be meeting and starting some work. We got to pick up the pace. You know, Obama said something, you got to learn to walk and chew gum.
But I want to note at this point, because the whole discussion on constitutional reform, I think this is a discussion that needs to be given a different level of weight when it comes to the countries and citizens' involvement in the process altogether. This is something that has to be completely transparent. This process can't be a hush-hush thing. You know, we meet sometime. This process has to be a very transparent process and an exposed process. The same way in which a PAC in the parliament goes and sit down and meeting and have discussions on these things. The same way in which I believe the transparency needs to be put to the public so that everyone could understand and engage and go along the way as the process moves forward with this. But I have to say I have very little confidence in the process moving forward, given the posture the PPP have taken on constitutional reform altogether. Right? They were in power for a very, very long time. When the opposition was in office, and the constitutional reform, when that committee was together, one of the complaints I remember the former Prime Minister Moses Nagamuzi making is that they don't show up to meetings. The representatives from the PPP side, they're not showing up to the meetings to even discuss the process moving forward. So, you know, I have very little confidence in that process moving forward.
Talking about not showing up to meetings, this is your issue here. Right? The motion that they made was passed yesterday to amend the standing orders to accommodate the fact that they want to deliberately delay the meeting of the PAC, the Public Accounts Committee, to scrutinize government spending. They're not going to be showing up for those meetings. Ghana, we just want to put you on alert. And we're going to be following it, and we're going to be making a big deal of them not showing up, because they say it's protect both sides. But really and truly, they don't want the scrutiny, they don't want the oversight. And so they will not be showing up to meetings of the Public Accounts Committee. Gail brought this wicked, devious motion. And because of the majority in Parliament, the bill was passed. The motion was passed, rather.
Good. So what I can say about that is that yesterday we had this debate in the National Assembly. And persons need to understand, now, if you were following, you would have seen the arguments being put forward by the government side. And the arguments actually have no logic. If we can just switch between. The arguments that they brought actually have no logic altogether, because you can't say that you are bringing this for more transparency. You can't say that you're bringing this to benefit both sides. As is, we are guided. And we are guided by a process that says 3 members needs to be present for us to have a meeting. It doesn't say 3 members of the opposition side needs to be present. It doesn't say 3 members of the government side needs to be present. It says 3 members needs to be present. At no point in time, as is, does the process restrict the government from being active participants in every single meeting. what they're doing right about now to actually change the composition, change the requirement, the quorum altogether, is that they are saying now that the entire opposition could be there sitting waiting for a meeting, and if the government don't show up, the meeting will not be had. Right? There is nothing that is enlightening about that. This is taking 100 steps backward when it comes to scrutiny, accountability, democracy. These concepts that they love to use so loosely. And when they are put to the test of putting systems in place to strengthen these processes, they do things like that is completely gutting the systems that have been put in place to make sure that the government spending is done in a transparent way. There's accountability altogether, and the process is democratic in the scrutinizing of it altogether. There is no way that you can say that you have to put there that two persons must be present. When you have statutory meetings, shared, it's statutory meetings. You come every single Monday, except holidays, the Public Accounts Committee meet every single Monday. If there's a sitting of the National Assembly, there's no meeting. But you cannot say that you need to put something in there to make sure that your interest is protected. Your interest has not been hampered. How do you need to protect something that is not being threatened altogether? They're simply saying that, you know what, we're busy, we got time with this.
They know what they're doing.
When we can carry on when we got time. So y'all could just accept that as is. But I say to all these things that they do, they're setting a dangerous precedence, because it's all good and nice now. They're sitting in the seats of government, but they're going to be left to face that when they're sitting in the seat of opposition. They're going to be left with these demons and monsters of systems that they have put in place themselves. And at that point in time, I think they should be left with it.
Yeah. That being said, we've been talking about the regime's outreach to Berbice, right? And we're not the only folks who have been taking cognizance of what's been happening and all the promises that have been made. Peep and Charm out of Kaichor News, that column there. Love Peep and Charm, even though sometimes we have disagreements. Peep and Charm has been looking and see what's been happening there. He's been peeping. He got his drone ups too. And he had some comments in today's column. He said, Berbice is being taken for a ride.
Oh, wow.
The ancient county being taken for a ride. Peep and Charm says, ironically, it is the government whose headquarters is located in Georgetown, which is hatching all these grand plans for Berbice. But the Berbicians themselves have little to say in the development of those plans.
Have little say, yeah.
Have little say. Were they consulted when these plans were being drawn up? Are they being consulted now that the projects are already in the pipeline? If they were consulted, they would have reminded President Irfan Ali that what he is doing is attempting to relive the failed dreams of Barry Jagdeo. This is not AFC talking here, no, it's not opposition. This is Peep and Tom, Kaichor News. He's attempting to relive the failed dreams of Barry Jagdeo. It was Jagdeo who first began talking about a deep water harbor for Guyana. That was more than 15 years ago. To this day, there is no deep water harbor. In fact, the country's main port runs alongside a river which badly needs dredging. Right? Badly needs dredging. Peep and Tom goes on. He says, finally, a deep water harbor requires shipping traffic and high levels of export to be viable. Ghana's economy is too small. Rice and the compressed sugar production are not going to make a deep water harbor viable. And with the oil company shipping oil directly from the FPSOs to export markets, a deep water harbor seems set to join the other white elephant in Region 6, the beleaguered Skeldon Sugar Factory. Put on your pipe. Ouch. Feel it one. I feel it one.
Peep and Tom is absolutely correct. And I want to say again, because we spoke about this, I think we have been speaking about it ever since we started talking about their outreaches. The fact that they're going there and they are not addressing any of the issues that the people there are having. Persons are literally going to these meetings that they're having and they're saying, this is what is bothering us. And they're not addressing any one of those issues. They just went there to say that they're meeting with persons. They went there to say that they're making some announcements of some promises that we know that they have not been able to keep promises altogether. And now they are yet to address the real issues on the ground. That's what Peep and Tom is saying. if they had done consultations in the planning process, then they would have known that these are the things bothering the people. These are the things that we need to address. Instead of going ahead doing things that multi-millionaires are going to further benefit from, when the needs and the plight of the people are yet to be addressed in these regions. So we have to take note of it. And I think People Tom is right on point with that.
Correct is right. You know, I learned a long time ago, Reddit or somebody said it to me, that acceleration and movement is not always the same as progress. And what the people has a lot of movement, right? A lot of movement, but progress, take it from People Tom. Take it from People Tom. Person of interest this morning. Person of interest. Yep, Mr. Aubrey C. Norton, guys. Aubrey C. Norton, who has been elected as leader of the opposition just yesterday. He was elected in December. Was it? It seems so long ago. As the leader of the People's National Congress Reform, and quite recently as well, he was also elected or appointed as the Partnership for National Unity leader for that political ensemble, the leader there. And I know much of you may not know, but Mr. Aubrey Norton, why we're looking at him as our person of interest out of the election yesterday, has been part of public life for a very, very long time. And you know, we're picking up on part of our reporting on our affiliate website, Credible Sources. We learned that Mr. Aubrey Norton has been part of politics since the age of 15, and has had now a 49-year political career. He won 75% of the vote, a landslide, the last internal elections that the PNCR had there. And his nomination just yesterday for leader of the opposition was moved by his party chairman, Mr. Sherwin Hola, Member of Parliament, and it was seconded by leader of the Alliance for Change, Mr. Kemraj Ramjatan, those nominations were closed by Member of Parliament Dionarine Ricky Ramsrup. Mr. Norton first entered the National Assembly as part of the 7th Parliament, which sat from 1997 to 2001, and then he served in the 9th Parliament as well, from 2006 to 2011, and he was presidential advisor on youth empowerment under the APNU government from, of course, 2015 to 2020. He has also served as General Secretary of the PNCR under the leadership of Desmond Hoyt, and the rest is history. The rest is history. Mr. Norton is 64. An interesting point that was pointed out to us is 64, and he's 1 year younger than David Granger was when he became leader of APNU in 2011. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. I tell you, always do we homework here. You know, we don't just, right? When we come out, we do we homework.
Well, I have to say, like, we all give our congratulations to Mr. Aubrey Norton on being elected the new leader of the opposition. And again, I say that now we have a full house just waiting for Cher to come off of suspension and be back in the National Assembly, and a whole lot of work to be done there at the level of the National Assembly and parliamentarians. And I encourage you guys to continue to give support altogether. It's not any walk in the park. This is the system that we signed up for, to make sure that we give representation to the people. And I know that we will be putting all efforts forward. We'll be collaborating our efforts for need of a better terminology, and making sure that we hold these folks accountable as much as we can.
Correct is right. Correct is right. Pace and power, Mr. Aubrey C. Norton. Yes. I thought you were going to say the phrase the guy.
I was thinking about it.
The big issue today, folks, the big issue as we move along quickly, the big issue, we spoke about this yesterday, and based on what we've seen out there, you know, and we did say this is not a topic we could cover in one day or even 1 week, right? The pandemic of abuse, that's what we talked about yesterday, folks. It continues. It continues out there, because just yesterday, for instance, we saw young teacher from Craig, Shanice Walks, 19 years old, she was stabbed. 19 years old, and this has some domestic implications to it. 19 years old, Shanice Walks. Our thoughts and prayers with her friends and family, her loved ones, her community. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of them this morning. 19 years old, she was stabbed. And kind of a bizarre story, but you know, most of these things seems that way initially, but quite a bizarre story as Shanice Walks, you know, lost her life yesterday, gone too soon, Twitter. Gone much too soon. And according to reports that we have, her boyfriend and her had an altercation, and he's saying that she was coming towards him with a knife, and he tried to protect himself. There was a scuffle, and she stabbed herself in the neck by accident. That's the account according to him.
Accident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, my difficulty with that account, and I'm not going to try to be judge, jury, and executioner on these matters, because I always like to say let it go through the process, let the law take its course with this. But I have to say that according to the reports that I've been reading in the press, that this young woman was suffering months of abuse. You know, so so many times we hear of young women, and this I have to say that I really can't remember too many persons her age, if any. Usually this came a little bit of it's disturbing news. Let's just start there. Disturbing news for you to pick up your phone and have to read a bit of news that says a 19-year-old with a 1-year-old child was stabbed, you know, died of being stabbed after suffering months of abuse. This is not something that you just digest easily as a woman. And we've been talking about the fact that a lot more needs to be done when it comes to policies and putting systems in place to protect women. And yesterday morning, we had this conversation right here. Yesterday morning, we went at length to speak about this. And then today, we have to come back again with the same thing, because after we left here yesterday, news of a young woman stabbed to death actually circulating in the press. And this is not something that I don't think enough is being said.
And we were talking about the wanton abuse as of yesterday morning over the last 72 hours. You know, we were talking about the young woman and her dad. You know, I think Starbuck News editorial today is dedicated to that issue with how he abused her so violently, right? And all caught on camera. That there was the 57-year-old woman, Miss Raj, who husband, you know, stabbed her to death. As well, there was a stabbing incident with the minor over the woman. Right.
One of the things that I'm picking up, and guys, you have to bear with us this morning, because this is a bit of really disturbing news. It's hard to even report and speak about these matters. One of the things that I noted is that the fact that I think it was her mother saying that, you know, she tried to leave the relationship. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what does it speak about us as a society when we have a 19-year-old, you know, such young, a bud life out there, ambitious, she's not there doing nothing, putting efforts in place to contribute positively to our society, to her family, trying to build a life for herself. How is it? What does it say about us as a society when she loses her life after trying to leave an abusive relationship? This is not in isolation. If persons knew that she was being abused, I can get very out of the box on this, I can tell you that. Because at some point in time, I say, you know, you should just jail everybody that knows that women are suffering and do absolutely nothing about it.
You have a right to report it. You have a duty.
You have a duty to report it. You have a duty to go out there and look for help and assistance.
It'll be interesting to see if it was reported, what was done.
Well,
it'll be interesting to see that.
You know, I'm actually very, very glad that you brought that particular one up, because it was up to, I think it was up to yesterday, we were covering one particular news report that a writer, actually a letter in the papers was speaking about the fact that more needs to be done and persons need to be facing consequences when they actually for police officer, prosecutors, and those people that they go to for help at the level of the police station and so forth, and they're not doing anything to help them. You know, these things we cannot just continue as though this is business as normal. You know, every single day you get up, you have to come out here and you have to say that, oh my God, you know, this is just a new incident. You know, this is not just news. You know, how does it become normal for us to be sitting here and have to report every single day of
woman stabbed, woman strangled, women
abused,
chopped to death.
How is this? This cannot be accepted as our new normal in life. We have to do better as a people. And I have to say, we have to get brutal. We are sending a negative message as a society if we do not surround and support people that are suffering. Stop victimizing
And
the
that's why,
victims.
we say that it's a pandemic, and it has to be treated with that kind of urgency, because lives are being lost. I think we may have lost more women to domestic abuse and violence and gender-based violence than we've lost to COVID-19. Right? Every day, every day, every week, you see this. There's no bending the curve here. It's just one direction, this thing going in. It's upward. Right? And I think because, again, we've examined the fact that lots of people who should be leading on these issues are compromised themselves at the policy level. And that's the challenge that you have. Lots of people who are leading, even in the level of the police force as well. That's why when you go to the stations, you hear this is man-woman story, because policemen might be beating their women too.
Yeah. But I just pulled up the report, and I want to just actually quote directly what it is saying. And this is one of the letters that went, I think we got it from Starbuck News yesterday, that the young woman saying violence against women has been a plague in our once peaceful country, and I myself has been a victim of such. But not just that, I have also been a victim of the extreme unprofessional attitude of police officers in domestic violence cases. I remember being yelled at by the inspector outside of the door of the courtroom when I decided to pursue my case of domestic violence further. And she quoted what the inspector said by saying, why you want to punish the man more? The man don't spend a night in the lockup. Right?
Wow.
I was made to feel like the bad one for trying to make sure he pays for his crime against me.
Yeah.
And they made me feel as though I was being too harsh on him. Then the same inspector went into the courtroom and told the magistrate I was agreeing to go to counseling, which I never agreed to. Imagine being sent to counseling with a man that went to your workplace and found you alone and slapped you and threw you to the floor, and then went away and came back looking for you with a cutlass in his car. Imagine being in couples counseling with someone I did not want to be in a relationship with. Right? And this is a letter that we're pulling out of Starbuck News yesterday that speaks, it is damning evidence is given against the way in which women are being treated when they seek help. And a lot of time you hear people say, we went and we make a report, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
We went, but if this is the way manner in which other women are experiencing the system, then we as a country, we have failed young women in our country.
And we covered also another letter from Starbuck News or one of the daily news yesterday as well, I think it was the day prior, where someone was complaining that a widower was seeking help in much the same way because she was being abused by her son or a relative in the family. They had made a report to number 54 police station, and they said, months later, this thing is continuing the kind of abuse, and they're yet to see the police. Sure. Yet to see. So it needs attention. It needs lots of attention. Less photo ops, and more attention.
And it goes back to what you said. We see ministers on International Women's Day. All of these things being on the 8th of March. All of these systems. Nice photos, placards about this, what you're going to do, and all of those things. And then International Women's Day is done and it's over. That was March 8th. Now we're into April. Today, April 14th, we have to report that the 19-year-old ambitious, full of life, young mother was stabbed to death after suffering months of abuse, after trying to get help. And I question like, what are we doing? What is this whole...
The pandemic of abuse continues. We got to arrest it. And all the stakeholders got to play their part, and government has a major part. That's one of the major stakeholders out there that is tasked with protecting its citizens. Got a major role to play.
But I want to just highlight at that point as we wrap up this discussion that I agree with the heading that says rules and consequences need to be in place for police officers handling cases of violence against women. There must be consequences if officer err and is delinquent and blatantly and willfully do not attend to women with the seriousness that these situations cater for. It is as serious as it could be. You are fighting for your life. Persons don't understand. How dare you tell someone or give them the impression that they are the wrong one? You know, it's just most
it brings to
ridiculous.
mind what Roxanne Bacchus is saying in our comment section. You know, for the life of me, she says, I don't understand why is it okay for a man to leave a woman, but it's not okay for a woman to leave a man. For the life of me, I can't understand it. Right?
It's
Glenford
a
Gordon
system, the egotistical system. We have nurtured as a society a system that puts women in that position. We have done it, and we are the only ones that could change it.
Yeah.
We have to find a way to change it. It cannot be the new normal. It cannot.
Glenford Gordon says a lot of police in Guyana are unprofessional. Right? And Brenda Bradford says they all need to be retrained. They all need to be retrained. Flora Jacob says these ministers are a big show. Enough talks and nothing behind it. Enough talks and nothing behind it. Yep. That's our program, guys.
Yes, that's our program. You know,
that's our time.
And I'm hoping that when we wrap up here, that when we come back on Tuesday, like FYI is not going to be back until Tuesday, guys. That's going to be my longest period without being with you, FYI family. So. But as we wrap up on this discussion and conversation altogether, I have to say, and I have to give a caution, a warning out there to folks, because I know a lot of you that's literally logged in right about now, listening to us. You know, a lot of you yourselves have heard of situations in which, you know, persons are being abused, and you know, sometimes we ourselves feel that we are helpless in the situation. We need to know that we have a responsibility to have some level of intervention, if even it is picking up a phone and calling the police and reporting it. I tell you, I can't live next to nobody.
Seek help.
I can't live next to nobody and the man beating up his wife next to me. I'm sorry. That situation is that's gonna be at the level of the police. Seek help immediately.
Tricia, look, two important comments here. Indrani Lekram says that if you have a government that doesn't show respect for women in parliament, and they also the women in parliament didn't press more on fixing such issues, so the men in societies are patterning right after such, right? Or people say fish is rotten from the head, right? Pretty interesting. And then look, Scotland says the abuse is upheld and practiced in the House of Assembly.
No. This is a fact, and that's what I'm saying. That's what we speak about, and we often speak about the microcosm of the bigger issue. You know, you see these matter, and you actually see it at an individual level, but you have to understand it's systemic failure that has brought us to where we are. Right, the systems are failing us as people. The systems are failing women, and women need to demand more. You need to have better, and you need to understand that it is not something that you're begging for. It is something that you have a right to be treated with respect.
That you deserve.
The government has the responsibility to put systems in place to protect women. That is just the truth of the matter. Women don't have to go there and beg to be treated with respect at the police station. Women should not have to go there and beg that when they go to the police station, they're going to be treated with professionalism. It should be a foregone conclusion. You go there, you are a victim. You are treated with respect. The case is handled with care. The fact that it is not being done, it is a failure of our system that needs to be addressed immediately. Least we continue to lose lives, valuable resources that we don't have. We're less than 1 million people, as I often say, and it is our responsibility as a country. It is a government responsibility to put policies in place, and it's our responsibility as citizens to make sure that we do everything in our part to protect people, especially women.
And that is why we say it's a pandemic of abuse that we have to tackle. All stakeholders, all hands on deck. That's our time, folks. Please remember to partner with us. Share the live stream, share the broadcast, share. Hundreds of you are watching us. Share the broadcast, smash the emoji button, folks, and partner with us. We have to meet our responsibilities for all of the things that go into making these programs possible. Help us to do that. There are several ways in which you can. We have the Cash App platform available. We got PayPal, we got Zelle. MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union. You want to know how you can do this? WhatsApp us 627-6963. That's our MMG number as well, folks. I don't know if the term is crave your indulgence, but we encourage you to partner with us. So, of course, we can do more of these programs. Valid, incredible information all the time.
And guys, I have to say that I want to wish you all a very happy Easter weekend. Make sure that you spend time with your family, but more importantly, make sure that you are safe. You know, happiness takes very little. And when it comes to family, I have to encourage persons and say, you know, sometimes you can forego the parties and the limes and stuff like that and just spend some quality time with your family in that little quiet space. I think it has the most rewarding moments come from those times.
So we aren't going to have any shows tomorrow at all. We're not going to have any shows tomorrow. We're going to say it's a day for family, a day for rest, recuperation, and we're going to be tightening up some aspects of our programmings from behind the scenes. We're not going to have any shows tomorrow at all, but we're going to be back on Saturday and Sunday with our podcast, and then we're on, and we're not going to have any shows on Monday either. Monday's Easter Monday. We're not going to have any shows on Monday, but we're going to be back on Tuesday for regular programming. So no shows tomorrow, no shows Monday, but we're going to be back on the weekend with the podcast. That's our time.
So have a wonderful weekend, and I'll miss you. I'll miss every single last one of you. I kid you not. I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah. We gonna miss y'all. We out here, and we like when y'all out here with each other.
Yes.
That's our time, guys. That's our time. Stay safe.